Hi, folks. I feel like in the times of product-led growth, everybody wants to be self-service. And you may be surprised to hear me say that, but I think actually not everybody should. So in today's video, I wanted to briefly discuss why we seem to have this ADD on our website and we keep like adding and removing the self-serve sign up, and generally when it is a good idea to offer self-service sign-ups and a self-service trial, and when it's a good idea to actually stick to basically sales-led demos. Right. So first of all, disclaimer. Again, something I need to say in this product-led era. If you decide to go for a sales-led model and to basically require your potential users to have a demo with you, it doesn't mean that your product can't sell itself and that the UX is not good enough. It just may mean that, well, there are several factors. For instance, your product is very complicated and it just wouldn't make sense to let the user discover it on their own. Or you have a lot of different use cases and it would be very tricky to create self-serve onboarding for all these different use cases. This is also the case for our platform. Right. Another reason is when you're catering to upmarket or enterprise type clients, usually they have longer sales cycles. They require a higher level of involvement from different decision makers, sometimes several decision makers. So it's not really possible for the user to just kind of log in, discover the things on their own, and then make this important and often very expensive decision. So now I mentioned it. Whether you should go for self-service or sales-led model depends also on your ACV. So the larger the annual contract value, roughly anything above $1,000 per year, you may start considering sales-led model. When it comes to self-service, this is something very popular because it's kind of associated with product-led growth, with passive income, right? So it sounds so glamorous to just kind of put the sign up on your website and let the users just discover your tool yourself. But it doesn't exactly work like that. First of all, if you want to open self-serve signups, you need to meet a few conditions. Again, your product needs to be pretty simple. It needs to be figure outable within like a couple of minutes. Secondly, you need to make sure that your user is not actually an enterprise user, that you have one decision maker, that they don't require, huge security kind of standards, and basically that they can deploy the tool on their own or use it on their own without help of IT or technical support. Right, but in order to make them successful, there are still a few things that you need to do to maintain a successful self-serve trial model. So it's not exactly kind of set it and forget it, and it's not exactly passive. What are the things that you need to do to make sure your self-service model is successful? I would recommend doing 3 things for sure. So first of all, have an interactive walkthrough that is event-based. So you need to determine what are the key activation points that your user needs to hit during their first session when they're logged in. I would say you need to make sure they get to the aha moment, so they actually understand the value of your product after this first web session. So you create a certain experience flow, a certain walkthrough, and you show the user the steps in a sequence that ensures that they have actually completed, step 1 before you show them step 2. You can only do it if you set goals for each of your experiences, for each of the steps, and these goals should be based on custom events. Custom events is basically when you know that the user has performed a certain action or an event inside your app. right? So the example I keep bringing up all the time, if you have a social media scheduler, the user first needs to add their social media accounts and then plan their first post. Okay, after you have created this like minimum viable onboarding walkthrough, next thing I would do to make my trial successful is to add a resource center. So a resource center is kind of a self-service help hub where you can combine your help docs, knowledge base, all the experiences, and even tutorial videos or a chatbot. So basically, this is a searchable database of different kinds of help resources that your user can search by different keywords depending on their needs, and then just help themselves without actually leaving your product. And then finally, I would pepper my UI with native tooltips, which are more subtle, more reactive way to help your user as they're kind of looking around to explain the less obvious elements on your UI. Right. And what about us? At the end of the day, we decided to, for now at least, keep both the demo and the self-serve sign up, explaining why we did that and what are our preliminary thoughts about it below. So go check it out and do check out the post that I linked below. Because it is quite interesting and may help you decide what modal is best for you. Okay, and that's it for today. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.